Good evening. Welcome to the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education Open Agenda Meeting. Today is Tuesday, September 16th, 2014. Mrs. Saradaki, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Cleary? Here. Dr. Kulikowski? Here. Mr. Lane?
Here.
Mrs. Shermer?
Here.
Mrs. Winkler?
Here.
Mrs. Bauer?
Here.
Mr. Whitehouse?
Here.
Quorum is present.
Thank you. Would you please join me in the salute to the flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So cool. In accordance with New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law, notice of this meeting has been provided to the Borough Clerk of Fanwood, the Township Clerk of Scotch Plains, the Scotch Plains Times, and the Patch. Prior to coming into public, the board met in executive session where we reviewed the personnel report as well as the legal status report. Additions to the agenda, I see we have 11 BUS, designation of official depository for the 2014-15 school year, and 12 BUS, non-public school technology initiative program agreements with Union County Ed Services. Are there any other additions to the agenda? Seeing none, I'll open the meeting for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board in accordance with policy 9322-R. We just ask that you step to the microphone, state your name and the town you reside in. This will be the first of two opportunities this evening for public comment.
Edmund All, Scotch Plains. I have a question regarding facilities at McGinn. I believe there was an air conditioning unit that was set up on the roof just recently.
Yes.
Okay. With that being the case, was there any type of analysis done regarding the weight of that unit in relation to the roof? Because now it's an additional load that's up there. And I'm just wondering if anybody did any type of structural analysis to make sure that's okay and that the loading won't be exceeded, say.
We did have our architect involved with what kind of unit we were going to place on the roof.
Okay, so you're assuming at that point he did some type of analysis, or?
Yes.
Okay. Just wondering, you know, we had some pretty heavy snow loading over this past winter and just don't want an issue. All right, that property next to Terrell Middle School, do you have any indication of what that property is going to entail, what, you know, what's proposed there?
At the time of purchase, we did not have a set use for that. There are a few things that have been discussed, and as now that it's being leveled and I'll say that it's getting closer to being ready for something to do. There are multiple options. Two that have been kicked around is one, just from relief of entranceway and egress and from a parking standpoint. Two, the land has been looked at and discussed as to possibly putting a dwelling there that would allow for movement of potential administrative offices to open up this space for, have administration not connected to a school where you could move, it'd make more sense for students, we believe right now, to be in the school as opposed to a separate building. We have not gotten a recommendation yet from superintendent or the business administration's office for that. We're moving, as we do with most things, sometimes to our benefit, other times to the frustration of our citizens, at a measured pace. other than jump too quickly as to the best use of it. So I guess with that said, let me give you a short answer. There is not a decision. There are some things we're kicking around as to what would be the most efficient use of that. Is it more from traffic or from physical space for humans, if you will, be it students or adult administration?
Okay. Was there soil imported into that site? I was over there, not this weekend, but the weekend before, and I imagine when you demoed that house and took out the foundation, there was probably, a void in the soil over there. And when I was last over there, it was level. So I'm just wondering if there was soil that was imported to level off the site, and if so, did you have analytical on that soil, just to make sure it was clean?
No, but it was brought in, and it was approved by the township.
Was there analytical, though, or
No, the fact that where the soil was brought from.
was there analytical done at the source where it was brought from?
Not that we know of.
Okay, so there's no analytical on that soil then that was imported into the school then? Okay. Suggest you may want to try to get some. Also, the earthwork that was done, and I believe I sent an email, and I just want to reemphasize that it's being done within the drip line of the existing mature trees that are there, and that's going to prematurely and gradually kill those trees. When you do earthwork, you're supposed to stay outside of what they call the drip line of the trees, and that's not being done, so perhaps to try to avoid any further damage that might have been done at this point, you may want to put up some type of fencing at the edge of the drip line so no further damage is done to those trees. And while we're at it, I still didn't see any type of safety fence between the school and that property. Thank you.
I don't know why we need a safety fence. I don't know either.
Thank you, Mr. Manal. Safety.
I'll send him an email.
Yeah, okay, you have the contact information. Oh, yes, I had forwarded that to you. Okay, anyone else? We'll close this portion. There will be a second opportunity this evening. Anyone wishing for public comment? Where are we? Is this on the instructional update we're going to have?
Right now, we're going to do that first. You can go to...
Yeah, I want to skip over these so we can...
And then, and we're going to...
During this.
Maintenance, right?
Perfect, okay. I'm sorry, on the agenda it says committee reports, but for those sitting in the audience, I don't think you're here for the committee reports, so I just want to make sure I can move things around on the agenda so that we get it right. So let's move on to the instructional update and the opening of schools presentation. Dr. Hayes.
Thank you. We're going to be using the overhead.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. That's okay.
Okay, thank you. Are we on? Okay. It's my pleasure to welcome you to a opening of school presentation for the benefit of the board and the public for the 2014-15 school year. A wide array of summer work supported a smooth opening of school this year. To prepare for the opening, we completed facilities renovations and upgrades, curriculum development and training, technology improvements and updates, and we also ensured that our schools were staffed for the 2014-15 school year.
Some of the upgrades that were accomplished at the buildings this year were truly amazing. And tonight, we're very pleased that we have representatives from our maintenance staff because they were integral to the successful completion of these projects. A new science lab was created at the high school, and all of the plumbing, electrical, and sheetrock work was completed by our maintenance staff. In addition, air conditioning was installed for the self-contained special ed classrooms at the high school. We continued with the high school HVAC renovation project, which is supported by our ROD grant, and the old gym floor was refinished and repainted. At Park Middle School, new hall lockers were installed, the old carpet was removed, and new hallway tiles were installed. We had 4 new exit doors installed, and a new cafeteria line was put into work. The components were installed by our maintenance staff. We were at Park the other day, and the line is going quite well. At Terrell Middle School, the girls' locker room was refurbished. That included the installation of 804 lockers. This renovation was also completed by our maintenance staff, and it also included new bathroom fixtures, room partitions, and painting of that area. New windows were installed, and re-roofing was completed. Terrell Auditorium also benefited from refurbishment of their auditorium. Asbestos remediation was completed, and the auditorium's original seating was replaced. An HVAC unit is in the process and will be installed. This will benefit not only Terrell Middle School, but also the PTA and community groups who use the facility. We just spoke recently about the Terrell Road property. That house that was on there was demolished, and we've moved forward with removing the debris from that site. At Brunner School, a new state-of-the-art boiler was installed, which Brunner's very happy about. And at Evergreen, we completed the roofing project this summer. Central office was here through much of that work, and we are really grateful that it was completed. Thank you very much. School 1 also benefited from repaving of the area between School 1 and Park. And at Coles, we had the support of our maintenance group. Coles, as you know, celebrates its 50th anniversary last year, and as part of that, every student in the school contributed to a mural, which has now been installed at Coles. Paula Riley led the students in doing the ceramics, and Perry Glinsky helped envision how this could be installed at Coles. This is showing it in its partial completion. I do encourage you to go and see it. It's a magnificent piece of work that is now adorning Coles School. Additionally, sidewalk and curbing replacements were done at Brunner, Coles, Terrell, and the high school and administrative offices. An HVAC unit was installed at McGinn. Air conditioning was installed for the pre-K classrooms in the adjacent office. And we're beginning the upgrade of fire alarms at Terrell, the first floor alarms at the high school, and given the board's approval at our August meeting, we will continue with the upgrade of the fire alarms on the second floor as well at the high school. In terms of technology, we re-imaged and refreshed our high school computers. We've continued the rollout of our audio systems and LCD projectors. Our Global Perspectives classes at the high school in the 11th grade are all being supported by the iPads that were put into place this year based upon the pilot project that was done last year. And we have migrated the entire district to Gmail. Our Honeywell alert has been refreshed so that we're ready to use it. We hope we don't need to, but if we need to, it's there. And we're continuing to update PowerSchool. In terms of staffing, 55 new teachers joined our district. Some of them are in tenure track positions, some of them are leave replacements. Human Resources gets great kudos for the hard work in terms of onboarding all of these new staff members, as well as our thanks to all of the administrators who were involved in the interviews and the hiring. Darren Watsky is featured here, along with Christina Moreno. Darren is our new Supervisor of Technology, and Christina is the new Assistant Principal at Park Middle School. These people were all part of our new teacher orientation that took place on August 27th and 28th. These are 2 jam-packed days in which we onboard all of our new teachers. They're involved with training that's mandated, harassment, intimidation, and bullying training, technology they learn about. They have meetings with their principals and supervisors to review the curriculum. They get an orientation on working with special needs students. It's really a very, very in-depth orientation that is done not only with the conducted not only by principals, but also largely led by our supervisors. So we're very grateful for the professional development that's provided for these new staff members, and they, in turn, are very happy about that opportunity. You see some of them here at work during those 2 days. They enjoyed using some of the lovely space outside, but they were really hard at work for the full 2 days, working very diligently to learn about our district and get ready for the opening of school. In addition, the administrators have their annual workshop that Dr. Mast and I and Mrs. Del Sordi, Mrs., that was a good slip, Mrs. Saradaki leads. We worked on our professional development plans. We looked at our strategic goals. We updated them on school safety and security. We're continuing to work on student growth objectives and a whole lot of mandated policy reviews, as well as preparing for our Professional Development Day, which opened the school year. You see in the next slide the seriousness of purpose that they have at these meetings. We were looking at where we are as a district now, where we'd like to be, and creating our vision for the future. Summer curriculum work was ongoing throughout the summer, and my thanks go to the supervisors who worked with all of our staff who volunteered and came in to work during the summer. We updated course proficiencies, we established pacing guides and curriculum maps, we began to address the next generation science standards, we are preparing for the park assessments, and we are aligning our curriculum so that there's clear articulation across the grade levels. Here you see some of the people working with John Veninger on algebra and analytic geometry transitioning. In addition, we had our students. Our students are surprisingly come back very early. By mid-August, the band is in full swing, and here you see them arriving for their band camp. The flag squad was perfecting their drills. They serenade me every afternoon and into the evening. The Moonglowers have already performed. They were at the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure on September 5th in New York City. And our athletic teams are back and practicing to begin their new seasons. Here you see the opening soccer game against South Plainfield, and our opening football game, which was an away game in which the Raiders won 14-0. We are happy that they're off to a successful start. The cheerleaders were leading them and supporting them. Here's a depiction of our Raider Nation. Their fan base is amazing. In terms of enrollment is slightly down this year. The October 15th enrollment is 5,575. We'll update the board when we get the actual October 15th numbers, but we started on September 12th with 5,534 students. As projected by the demographer, the elementary enrollment is softening. Brunner and Coles areas were the ones that saw the largest decline. Brunner is down by approximately 20 students, Coles by 40. Concomitantly, we do have a slight increase at the high school. So across the board, the bulk of the students are moving through the middle schools into the high school, and that larger group is at the high school currently. Park and Terrell have remained pretty static. But we are seeing some surprising increases. There are pockets. So Evergreen went up by about 16 students, and School 1 went up by 12. So it varies from school to school, but generally the trends are holding according to what was predicted. And now you'll see in the next several slides some of the happy faces of the students returning to each of our schools. Here is Brunner, and we have Coles, we have Evergreen, McGinn, School 1, Park, Terrell, and our high school. The high school had its opening pep rally on September 5th. So with that, we're off to a wonderful start to our school year. We wish everyone a wonderful, successful 14-15 school year. And at this point, as I close this portion of my presentation, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Saradaki, because none of this would have been possible without the wonderful support of our maintenance staff who is here tonight that we want to recognize. So with that, we'd like you gentlemen to come forward as we transition, and I'm going to ask Anthony Miranda to introduce the gentleman who's been able to come out tonight to join us. And I know this isn't what they like to do. They don't like to speak publicly, but we do want to thank all of you.
Sorry. No, it's just no, I want to make the chair taller. I can't. One more. Oh. It's on the other side. I pulled it.
He's blaming her. But you need to start by introducing them, and then Debbie will take it from there.
To my left here is Thomas Gann. He's the electrician at the high school. He's actually currently doing the upgrade at the stage. To his left is Mr. Cahill. He is our HVAC mechanic. To the left of him is Nick Schoendorf. He's another electrician. And to the left of him is Perry Golinsky. He's our carpenter. And in back of him is Teddy Wilmot, and he's part of our maintenance day grounds crew. These are all, most of my people are not here today because who lives an hour away or short notice or have family obligations, but these gentlemen here do an excellent, excellent job. I want to thank you all. Good job.
Board comments? Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to say we really had a tremendous number of projects scheduled to be completed this summer, and I really have a lot of reservations about us being able to get them all done. I know I shared that with Mr. Miranda. But because of the dedication and hard work of Ms. Miranda and all of the maintenance and ground staff, we were able to complete the projects within budget and before the opening of school for the most part. Some of the projects are very, the auditorium, they had to remove all of the seating and the bolts in the floor for all of the seating to have it ready for the asbestos remediation and installing new seating. In the refurbishment of the gym locker rooms at Terrell Middle School, they had to remove all the old lockers, install new bathroom fixtures, stalls, ceiling I think we did also, painting the walls, painting the floor with epoxy paint, which she decorated by hand with paint chips, color chips. They refurbished staff bathrooms at Terrell Middle School. Again, replacing fixtures and painting. They moved the copy center at the high school from one location to another. They removed the old cafeteria line at Park Middle School, and when the new one arrived, installed with new plumbing, electrical, and network lines. Upgrading, which is still being worked on, the high school stage electrical to prepare for a new dimmer rack installation. Repainted and added air conditioning to the special ed classroom at the high school, requiring the addition of a new electrical panel. Installed cubbies and cabinets in the new preschool classroom at School 1. Removed carpeting from the sides of the Park Middle School hallways. Installed matching tiles, a project they didn't think that they would be able to do. And most notably, removed walls from smaller rooms in the high school, created a science lab classroom from scratch, including all the walls, ceiling, plumbing, and electrical work. This was considerable, as plumbing and electrical was required for each of the lab desks, and ductwork had to be run through the building to vent the fume hood. I'm really impressed by the quality and quantity of work completed by our maintenance and ground staff over the years, and I think they deserve a great deal of praise. In addition to all of these projects, routine grounds and maintenance jobs were still being completed, and I think you should be proud of yourselves. Both Mr. Miranda, Mr. Gann, Mr. Cahill, Mr. Schondorf, Mr. Klinsky, and Mr. Wilmot. All of you.
We're very, very proud, very grateful. Thank you.
Mr. Lane?
Yeah, I had a chance to really took me on a tour. Amy and myself on the tour right before the school opened. And I just can't overstate the quality of the work. In particular, the science lab in the high school jumped out at me. I can remember when one of the first training sessions I had to go to was at Robbinsville High School. And that is a state-of-the-art, I mean, they actually walk us around, and that's a building that just makes you say, oh, you know, it is, how come we can't have a building like this? And in that room, you know, you definitely have like, oh, this is what it's like to be in a absolutely state-of-the-art facility. You know, it's a shame we just don't have enough money to give you the free run of the high school so you can, you know, really do the whole thing. The other thing that jumped out at me is the quality of the work in the gym. I am, you know, I take floors and carpet floors seriously, and I'm glad that we've continued to good old-fashioned varnish. We don't have to go back there every year. But again, we are deeply educated, and I think the students, and my only hope is that the leg room in the Terrell Auditorium. You understand where I'm coming from?
We use the airlines as our
Oh, that means I'm in trouble. But it was great work. Really great.
Thank you, Mr. Lane. Yes.
So as Doug said, I was there with him on the tour and just blown away by a lot of the things that I saw. It's pretty impressive what talent, I guess, we have right here in-house. It's pretty amazing. I was so pleased looking at the floors in the park to see that the carpet was gone. That was such a strange setup that was there. I can't understand quite why it was put down that way in the first place, but it looks so beautiful now, so much nicer. The other thing I wanted to say was that I had a chance when Doug and I went to take our tour. The seats weren't yet put in the auditorium at Terrell, but I had a chance to poke my head in there the other day and actually sit down in one of the seats and stuff. It's beautiful, really nice, really, really nice work. And you can see where the wood has been refinished all the way around the room, and just so much brighter, so much nicer in there. Thank you so much.
Mrs. Bauer.
Yes, I just wanted to echo what Mr. Lane and the Dean Board had to say. I think we're very, very fortunate
to have such skilled people in-house. And I do want you to know that Mrs. Saradaki is bragging about you all the time. When we have like our curriculum committee meetings, you might not think we're talking about you, but we're hearing about the science lab and the phenomenal work and so forth. So we're often getting reports about the work that you do. And also, I know on the Finance Committee, we have heard many, many times how you have rescued us with the HVAC and everything else, practically making the parts and so forth when we've really been, I hesitate to say behind, but haven't had the funding to, replace things as quickly as we would have liked to. And so I know you've rescued us. And I just wanted to say, too, that I think the climate in schools is a very, very important piece to making education successful. And so when students and teachers and everyone who works in a building come in and it's maintained well and it's kept up and so forth, that makes a huge difference. So thank you for your contributions.
Mrs. Bauer, anyone else?
Yeah, I'd like to say something. You should take a lot of pride in what you did. I'm so proud of you guys. I mean, I can't do anything like that at all, and it's just, it's amazing. I mean, those lockers and all that work that you did over the summer, you didn't have a week off, it looks like, for vacation or anything. And, like, I'm not a kid, but I feel like a kid looking at it, saying, I wish I had a school like that when I was a kid, because it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, to think that you guys did it. Wow. Very proud.
Dr. Kulikowski.
The few pieces that were in the slides, the quick pictures, I can't wait to see them, so I'm hoping that at back to school night I'll get a little peek at the locker rooms at Park and Terrell, and I agree, I can't wait to see the auditorium at Terrell, because I saw it before. I want to experience it after. So thank you for all of what you've done for us.
Yeah, actually, I would like to just say, I feel so happy to be recognizing all of you, and also to please extend it, of course, to the people that couldn't be here tonight, we understand. But it was a lot that got everybody's attention this summer, but I know over the years, you guys have been doing amazing work for us. So I know this very desk we're sitting at, thank you. I know over the years with the villas and I don't remember what we call them.
Cottages.
The cottages. Amazing. I am a soccer parent, and I remember standing for a game behind School 1 and seeing them delivered there at Park and thinking, oh my God, we have to put a blanket over them. Somebody please. And the next time I was back there, it was just amazing. So, it's just ongoing, so it's so nice to be able to recognize all the work at this point. And thank you so much for all the efforts. It's really amazing.
We have a reporter in the room, and looking at the agenda, it's relatively light. So not to tell you how to write your story, but I think the slant tonight, from tonight's meeting, this should be a big piece of it if I had any say in that article. Because, as Mrs. Bauer was referencing, to many people in this community, we have 8 buildings. But to 5,500 students, that's most of their lives. For 13 years, they spend so much time in these buildings. And to have master carpenters and electricians and plumbers, the buildings and the grounds, just looking and hearing, seeing some of the different areas, from down to the specs in the paint, that there's a 9-year-old, he's going to see it. Now, hopefully he's not going to gum it up before, October and November, but those little things that, Mr. Glinsky, that fish, 50 years, that old lady's got another 50 years in her the way it's being maintained, and that may still be there. We're going to be long gone, and you're, it's artwork. The crafts, the craft the craft work that you all bring. Again, it goes way beyond the buildings that many people look at when they're driving by, when you think of the thousands of students right now, but tens of thousands over the years that pass through, both within our community and through the arts and the athletics, the other towns, folks and people that come across as well. Again, from the cubbies in our preschool to the 18-year-olds who are going to be, coming up with, I don't want to sound the cliche, cures for cancer, but the work that's being done in our science labs. I mean, you guys are running the gauntlet as far as the lives that your work in some large or even the small little specks of paint, like you said, the small ways, how you're touching them. A lot of times, and we often do, and rightly so, that when we're looking at the schools and we're opening the schools, we're talking about the teachers and the principals and all that. But from June 22nd till could be Labor Day weekend, depending on the projects and their timing, you guys are busting, and we appreciate that. I thank you for the board, but I'm going to go out on, well, it's not really even a limb. I'm going to thank you for all the taxpayers, because quite frankly, at our last meeting, when Mrs. Saradaki was going through the list of the projects that were taking place and the joint effort between third parties and the amount of work that was being done in-house, Mr. Lane gave a report from the Facilities Committee. Mrs. Winkler was touting their walk also. Unfortunately, Mrs. Warner isn't here tonight, but she's a vocal advocate for the work that you folks do in-house. As a finance person, she sees the value that you bring, as we all do. So on behalf of the Board of Education and every person who pays a tax dollar in Scotch Plains and Fanwood towards our school, thank you all so much. Teddy, I see you hiding back there. But, we've been talking a lot about the buildings, but
There you go.
Again, I've been talking about these 8 buildings. We don't want to lose sight of the grounds as well. Again, everything from the macadams to the, periodically over the years, we've had folks come to meetings talking about even, tree limbs and shrubbery and things like that. A whole lot less over the past 5-6 years also. I don't know if that's just we've finally gotten a little bit ahead of the curve on some of the things and been able to catch up or what, but we do recognize it's a lot of square foot, not only inside the buildings but outside in our grounds as well. So again, for the last time, I won't repeat it one more time, but thank you very much. Again, we know you're all men of few words, but if you don't mind, could you take a moment just so that we can kind of run the gauntlet on the inside of the horseshoe? We can at least shake your hands in appreciation. Thank you.
Yes.
Chemistry teacher came smiling from ear to ear. She was so thrilled. God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Really great job. This feels all the time. Thank you so much. Thanks, great job. Teachers and kids. Thanks, great job. Thank you. Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, as long as you're up, this little well, that's the perfect picture spot.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for what you do for us. Hips painted. Thank you.
Come on up here, we'll get a picture.
All of a shirt, what you got?
I thought it looked pretty nice.
Yeah, right there is great, and then we take a...
That's great.
Someone's hiding behind you, but that's, okay. there
That's
you
about them.
All right, great.
Very good. Okay. As we tell all visitors to come, young and old, you can decide for yourselves where you fall on that spectrum. We never take offense after your piece of the meeting is over if you choose to step out and leave. I know we've got a compelling agenda in front of us, but we're never offended if you want to take leave. You're excused if you would like to. Good night, fellas, and thank you once again. Much appreciated. Good night.
Thank you.
Well-deserved rest.
Okay. Towards the non-facilities piece, Dr. Hayes, I don't want to lose sight of the overall presentation that we just saw. It looks like overall, everything was in place. There's always a couple bumps typically when we're starting the beginning of the school year, but I measure the successful opening of a school year based on emails or phone calls. My phone didn't ring, and my inbox was empty. We did note that we switched over to Gmail. I will add that it would have taken until about the 4th day of school for me to realize my inbox was empty or not, but even those bumps are behind us. So anyone who has sent me an email in the past week or so, if you haven't gotten a reply, I'm working on it.
Right.
But no, overall, it was a wonderful presentation. We'd like to see, and I think those that view in the public too, the faces of all of each building. It's always nice when that can be captured. It kind of gives a little bit, each building has its own character, physically as well as inside with the administrators and the neighborhood. So that was nice to see. Well done on a successful opening.
My thanks to Sally Rowland for all of her expertise in terms of putting the PowerPoint together.
Great, thank you, Mrs. Rowland. To all administrators in the room, as well as the site administrators and support at all the buildings, for those that may be watching, a heartfelt thank you as well, that we know that you just don't flip on the light switch come the first day in September, and it all just starts, that there are, as Dr. Hayes' presentation showed, weeks and weeks of preparation on a variety of levels, from curriculum to the buildings to the integration of the new staff into our family, if you will. So well done on all those fronts to everyone. Thank you. Okay, let's jump back to committee reports. Do we have any committee reports? Mrs. Bauer.
So we have such a short report for the curriculum committee, which I know is unusual, that I forgot to send it to you, but it's just one item. And that is that we are proposing a new physics text. And so I'll pass it around. Actually, I'll pass it this way because these folks have already seen it. And just to give you a summary, we had not only our science supervisor with us at the curriculum committee meeting, but also Virginia Kazaza, am I saying it right? Who is the teacher for this AP Physics. And basically, there are a couple of reasons why we need a new text. One, the one that we had, I believe, was from 2008. And also, the College Boards has changed so that the text that we had was really a Physics B text, and now they're doing Physics C. A lot of credit to our teacher because the students were doing well, really well, are doing really well, and we're doing really well with this old text. However, she was really having to try and supplement and add a lot of pieces, and the new text, the students aren't going to carry this text. There are e-text. And so one of the benefits of the new text is not only the e-text, but all the resources for students online. So that's a very exciting piece. And the other really nice thing is that this happened to be the cheapest one. So I think all around the committee was pleased with this choice, and we are certainly recommending it to the board.
Thank you, Ms. Bauer. Any questions or comments? Yes, Mr. Lane.
Dare I? Wow, how much was the most expensive?
I believe it was $220 or $225. around
It
there.
was just over 200, something
Yeah.
like that, yeah. This one is 150.
And the most expensive one did not come with online support.
Right.
So,
Hey, mechanics and thermodynamics don't come cheap. Those are the only two words I understood when I flipped through, and I'm an okay accountant, but wow, AP Physics? I'm going to rely on curriculum committee on this one because I had no questions. I caught a picture of B.B. King, and that's the only thing in that book I recognized.
I would, if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
I would just like to, I know you did give credit to the teacher, and I have to apologize, I don't have her name in front of me.
Mrs. Kazaza.
Yes, because she brought her students last year very successfully along with the physics program without the benefit of the textbook. And she was actually supplementing to a great extent with this textbook. So it's a little bit tried and true through the year, which was wonderful. But, great job by the students, but also by the teacher, because she, had to work under difficult circumstances in a year where there was a lot in play for her. So, yeah, I think we can be very confident with this selection.
Excellent. Thank you. Do we have any other committee reports?
I do have a very brief committee report.
Mrs. Cleary?
For the Strategic Planning Committee, we were provided with the summary document, was given to us by Dr. Hayes to the committee, and it has been handed out this evening for the board members. And we would just like to recommend some thoughtful reflection over the summary draft, and board members can take the opportunity to ask any questions, contact Dr. Hayes directly or a committee member if we can clarify anything on here. My personal feeling, first glance, it's in really great order, and we should always say thank you to the public and the members that came out, because it was really through their efforts that we were able to capture so much of this that will drive our district forward. So just board members, in your free time, don't take too much time. It's important. We want to get it going so that we can use it going forward. Just thoughtful reflection, and any questions, please provide them to Dr. Hayes.
And we'll be sharing it with the public. That our goal is September 30th.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. We now have a roadmap. Much appreciated. Okay, anyone else for committee reports? Seeing none, we'll close this portion and move on to, there was one letter to the board. It was referred to executive session, so let's go now on to the superintendent's report. Dr. Hayes?
Thank you, Mr. Whitehouse. Tonight, I would ask that the board approve the out-of-district placements as listed on the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? I just had a moment. Is this okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't know if it was a roll call. That was what the
That'll be
moment
the
was.
next one. 2S, I would ask that the board approve the adoption of the APC physics text. You have the information at your place. We will be adopting Physics for Scientists and Engineers by Surway and Jewett.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? I do know this is a roll call. Mrs. Aradaki?
Dr. Kulikowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Cleary?
Yes.
Mr. Lane?
Yes, this is impressive book.
Mrs. Shermer?
Yes.
Mrs. Winkler?
Yes.
Mrs. Bauer?
Yes.
Mr. Whitehouse?
Yes. With the motion carrying, go on, Dr. Hayes.
Thank you. Tonight, it's my pleasure to update the board. We annually at this meeting do the graduation verification for the class of 2014. We had 374 students who met the requirements for graduation by August 30th, 2014. Of these, 20 completed their requirements by passing the alternate high school assessment. The others did it by virtue of passing HESPA, as well as meeting all their statutory curriculum requirements, except for the few that were entitled to be exempt from the HESPA. So we congratulate the class of 2014 and wish them the best as they continue on their educational and vocational goals.
Thank you. Could I have a motion approving the verification of the class of 2014?
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And that concludes my report for those items, and I would ask that the board approve the personnel agenda as discussed in exec this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments on personnel?
Yes, we don't want to acknowledge and accept Mrs. Rowland's retirement, but unfortunately, I'll have to.
Yes, there's still time. All those in favor, I'm sorry, could I please have the roll, Mrs. Saradaki?
Dr. Kulikowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Cleary?
Yes.
Mr. Lane?
Yeah.
Mrs. Shermer?
Yes.
Mrs. Winkler? Mrs. Bauer?
Yes.
Mr. Whitehouse?
Yes. Okay, thank you, Dr. Hayes. We'll move on to the business functions. There are a couple items starred, again, for the benefit of anyone new. Any items that is asterisk, we will be taking action on this evening. If you would like, Mrs. Saradaki, you can do the starred ones first. We'll vote on
Okay.
that, and then you can talk about the other ones for our next meeting.
Okay. 1BUS is the approval of staff training. I'm asking for the board to approve the superintendent's recommendations for staff training reimbursements on the report dated September 16th, 2014. 3BUS, we added a special education transportation route. I'm asking for the board's approval. We've received quotes. We're going to be going out for bid, but the quoted amount is $195 per day for this route. That was the least expensive of 4 quotes we received. And 8BUS is a change order. This is from the rooftop units from summer 2013. A change order, it's a credit back of $5,895 for some wiring. And there is one other item I'd like to have a vote on this evening. It's 11BUS. We're adding a bank account similar to our athletic account for the music program.
Okay. Can I have a motion on those 4
So moved.
items?
Second.
Any questions or comments on those 4 items? All the-
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to be really clear. You said that the one for the heating on the new rooftop units, that was a credit back to the district, not money going out of the district?
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Board. Now, we're going to circle back on the BUSs, and Ms. Saradaki is going to talk a little bit about each one, or introduce each one, so that if we have any questions now, come our next meeting, we can just zip through the approval or voting on those. So go ahead, Ms. Saradaki.
Okay, with 2BS, I'll be asking you to acknowledge your receipt of the disbursement listings for our smaller bank accounts. 4BUS, I'll be asking for approval of the vendors for Rep Theater. These are the people who are non-employees who will be working with Rep Theater as director, stage design, lighting design, costume design, and choreographer. 5BUS is our participation in the Reading Recovery Program. We send teachers every year for training. 6BUS, we will have the cost for the fixtures for 2 more science labs. We've created one. Room 138 is already on order, and this will be the prices for putting fixtures in room 137 and 139. I'd like to skip 7BUS for just a minute and go on to 9BUS is your acknowledgement of receipt of the board secretary report, treasurer of school funds reports, and budget adjustments for the month ending August 31st. And 10BUS will be the bill list. 12BUS is the non-public school technology initiative program agreements. The board is required to approve the agreements with each of the non-public schools that participate.
Does
And-
anyone have any questions on those items?
Do we need a motion first?
No.
Oh, we're just asking questions, right? I have a question.
Yes, Mrs. Bauer.
The, on 12 BUS, are two of these are charter schools?
No, no. These are all just non-public schools within Scotch Plains and Fanwood.
Oh, non-public, okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, as always, these items will all be voted on at our next meeting, so if between now and in 2 weeks, when we meet again, if you should have any questions, just please reach out to Mrs. Saradaki ahead of time so that hopefully they can be clarified. With that, let's circle back to 7 BUS. Mrs. Saradaki?
Okay, 7 BUS is discussion of the OFAC report. That is the Office of Fiscal Accountability and Compliance. It's a New Jersey state office, and this regards theater lighting equipment purchase. It was the purchase of a dimmer rack and control board for the high school auditorium. All I'm asking the board to acknowledge receipt of the report conducted as a result of an anonymous complaint on the purchase of theatrical lighting equipment for renovations in the high school auditorium. Basically, to summarize, OFAC received an anonymous written complaint alleging possible violations of public school contracts laws regarding the district purchase of some lighting equipment for the high school. OFAC's inquiry did not find any improper procedure utilized in this matter, and there is no corrective action plan, but the findings in this matter are required to be discussed in a public meeting and posted on the district's website.
Thank you. As I had, did everybody see the report or, no, okay.
Yeah, I think the copy
So for the
was
benefit of the
distributed.
public, having read the report, because when there's an ethics complaint filed, a Board of Education is required upon the finding of the audit committee, the investigative committee, to have a public, make it known in public. To me, this is great news. Somebody anonymously said we did something wrong. The state investigated, and they said fully and completely, you did nothing wrong on each of the 4 alleged potential violations. So, well done, Mrs. Saradaki, for following the rules. I mean, it's expected that our, all rules that govern the procurement of items are followed, but when someone does file a complaint, it's always good periodically, if you are audited or investigated, to find there was nothing whatsoever wrong. So, and again, for those that think my nose is growing as I say this, the report itself does get posted on our website, so inquiring minds, feel free to please check our website. So we have to tonight make a motion that acknowledging it was reported in public? Is that how the motion
We can do it
is?
at the next meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, be happy to talk about it again in 2 weeks.
No, we can do it tonight or at the next
No,
meeting.
no.
It's just,
Why don't we just do it?
Okay.
okay.
Could I have a motion acknowledging we talked about this in public, or however it should be?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Yes,
Does-
Dr. Kulikowski.
Does a note or anything go back to the person who made the complaint saying we checked and it's okay?
The state did send a letter back to the PO box.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ms. Saradaki, thank you for the business portion. Moving along to policy. Do we do at this, I don't see an asterisk, do we?
No, at the next meeting.
At the next meeting.
Final reading.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Winkler, you want to say what at the next meeting to?
Yeah, at the
Make a little
next meeting,
suspense.
I will ask for a motion to, or I will make a motion to approve the second and final reading of the electronic communications between support staff members and students policy, which is number 4283.
Thank you. If there should be any further questions on that, please reach out to Mrs. Winkler before the next meeting. Okay, any new board business? Seeing none on other board business, do we have any requests to attend workshops? Workshop reports? Yes, Mrs. Winkler?
I'm going to assume this falls under workshop reports. I attended the Union County School Boards Association meeting. That was September 10th. I think the meeting, aside from the regular business of updates and things, there was discussion about integrative STEM in the schools. It was a pretty interesting meeting, and I have received a document that's includes copies of all the slides and things that were part of that, but I'll be happy to share that with anyone if anyone wants to have a look at it. It was a pretty interesting meeting. Started with a pretty strange game. John Henry is the guy from school boards who led the meeting, and he separated into groups to demonstrate. He had 3 groups of us, 2 groups working on a same exact project, trying to figure out how to do something based on certain set of limited things, and third group watching the 2 groups as they brainstormed and watching the different things that they did to try to solve this problem, and then what they did when what they thought would work didn't work, and how they changed strategy. It was pretty interesting to see it, but I guess his bottom line was that this whole integrative idea of using STEM in ways that students will relate to it, will actually, I'm pleased to say that based on his whole presentation, we are doing quite a bit of what he was suggesting needed to be done in order to integrate STEM into the classroom, and not just something that would be from rote memory. So it was very nice to feel like, oh, we're already doing a lot of that.
That's good feedback and good to hear. Thank you. And thank you for attending. Mrs. Winkler is our representative, our liaison with Union County School Boards, and I know that they've been trying to ramp up the robustness of some of their presentations, and they just don't want, I guess some county school boards are just not as active as the New Jersey school boards would prefer. So Union County has been working on rebuilding that, and representation from all the districts is a key piece of that. So I appreciate you being there, Mrs. Winkler. Any other workshop reports? All right. We see on October is a really busy month. We have lots of weeks and months and things to commemorate. So drink a lot of water, board members, because 2, 3, 4, 5 OBBs are all going to be recognizing a particular portion of October for one thing or another, and anyone who moves the motion will be reading it. So pick your favorite and be prepared to move those motions on the 30th and also read them. I won't go through them now. You can see them on your agenda, and for those at home without an agenda, we just need a little suspense for this portion of the meeting. Hopefully you'll tune in on the 30th. We'll also be asking approval of the minutes from our August 28th meeting, both the public portion and the executive session. And with that, it brings us to me invoking policy 9322-R, opening the meeting for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board, we ask you to step to the microphone and provide your name and town you reside in. All that for me to say, and no one even wants to come to the microphone. Okay, then I can quickly close that portion and move on to the good of the order. Does anyone have anything for the good of the order?
Well, I will just want to comment on the art, because look, we have these wonderful murals of Scotch plains, and you have to look at them closely so you can see all the different buildings and things they've included. So
I was, and this one over here is, I mean, not to be an art critic, but it's kind of cool if you look at it from the perspective of a youngster. You see Cole School on the right third of it. Then over a little bit, you have Overlook Hospital. My guess is someone was born there maybe 7 years ago. You have Dick's Sporting Goods, so there are boys that are participating in this artwork. You know, it was just, if you look at it, yeah, the Foot Locker is there. I was just looking as to the importance of a mind of maybe, I don't know how old the child is, but in their world, you got to have Dick's Sporting Goods, Foot Locker, Overlook where I was born, and Cole School.
Rita's Ice.
That's the and Rita's Ice Cream. Yes, I didn't know. My eyeglass prescription hasn't come in yet, so I can't see that far. But yes, this, thank Dr. Evans for sending over some Cole's artwork. It's kind of neat. I do, again, for the reporter in the room, board members did receive something from Representative Rush Holt. There is a higher education affordability workshop. It's taking place next Tuesday, September 23rd, at the Plainfield Public Library. It's 800 Park Ave in Plainfield. That representatives from Rutgers Office of Financial Aid will be there. It's really geared towards high school and middle school students and their families, more to learn more about federal and state financial aid programs. So as senior or year starting for that group, but even in middle school, those families that are starting to think about the daunting task of paying for college, Representative Holt will be holding something in Plainfield next Tuesday, the 23rd. Anyone else for the good of the order?
We just have one other thing. The band festival, for those of you that are tuning in, will be this Saturday night on September 20th. We have lots of activities going on this weekend at Scotch Plains Fenwood High School. We have soccer, football, and we have our band festival. So welcome and come on out.
Thank you, Dr. Hayes. This week begins also.
Roland's got something.
Oh.
If I could just clarify, since it's Arts and Education Week, all of the district schools have sent over this
All right.
offer. Coles is closest to you, but all over the room is every school represented.
And my optometrist will verify that I think it's nearsighted. My glasses, when they come in, will allow me to see beyond that big old Coles one. But thank you, Ms. Rowland, and thank you to all the schools who sent something. Shame on me for not looking more closely. Back to school nights begin this week. Over the course of the next few weeks, we'll have lots of parents in our buildings. It would have been, nice one more time for those maintenance and staff to be aware that, yes, there's going to be a lot of activity in our building, so good luck to all you parents navigating, especially those in the high school. Grab a map. It's the smartest thing you can do when you walk in that building. If there is nothing else for the good of the order, our upcoming meeting is September 30th. It's in 2 weeks. It is a Tuesday as well. October 16th is our mid-October meeting, and Candidates Night is Monday, October 20th. We're still, location is still pending, but again, stay tuned, and we'll ultimately have a landing spot for Candidates Night as well. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
See you on the 30th, folks.